Hey, let me ask you something. Does your bathtub shower tile surround look like this? With all of this grody, black, moldy nastiness along the bottom here? Do you have years of failed repairs along the bottom here of your tub here? With the caulk was put on there and it wasn't done correctly, or it was the wrong type of caulk? Do you have like cracks in your grout and ugly grout disappearing and just nastiness all around? Well, today we're going to show you exactly what we can do to put some lipstick on this pig without remodeling your bathroom. We're going to remodel your bathroom without remodeling your bathroom. This is what we call putting lipstick on a pig. We're also going to show you how to get rid of all of this black nasty stains here that you see here all along the bottom of the tub. We're going to see if we can scrub those away. This will eliminate the need for you to have to call in anybody to reglaze your bathtub or the tiles. And of course you would save about $3,000 on a tile job retiling this entire part of the bathroom here. And it all starts right now. Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel again. If this is your first time here, we have all sorts of world-class videos showing you how to do everything from home renovations and kitchen renovations, remodeling bathrooms, doing flooring and stuff like that. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you do that right now and click that bell icon so you'll be alerted every time we upload a new video. So these are some of the products we're going to look at trying today to help clearing up some of this mess, because the first thing we got to do is we got to get rid of all of this bad caulk around here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to spray down this caulk here with this is gong caulk remover. So this is a special formula that's made to dissolve old caulk. And so the way you're supposed to do this is you're going to spray this on, and they want you to leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes. If you notice, most manufacturers' instructions usually say repeat if necessary. So that means that they probably don't expect this to work the first time. So we'll just spray that on there, and we'll leave that on there for 15 minutes, and we'll see how it comes up. And we're going to remove it with a scraper. I just wanted to show you something right here. If you look at this section of tiles right here, you might notice they look different, right? They're not lined up with the others, and they're a different color. So this says to us that there was some type of a catastrophic leak or something in the past, and they had to come in and redo these tiles. Of course, you can see they did a pretty terrible job. So you see how the grout lines, nothing matches up. So nobody did any kind of amount of respectable type of work to get this thing to even line up at all. Now, some of you might recognize this bathroom because we featured it in one of our videos a few weeks ago where we remodeled the whole bathroom. We showed you how to remodel your bathroom here. And so it wasn't in the budget to do from this side onward. We did everything here. So I'll put a link down in the description to that other video. That's a really good video for you to check out. It shows how we did this whole tile floor here, and we put Ditra under it. We used Schluter Ditra. I put in this whole new toilet, the new vanity, the mirrors, the hardware, the lighting, everything. So that's a great video for you to check out as well. Alright, so what I like to do is get my rigid scraper. Don't get one of the little thinner ones, like the butter knives. Those are useless. I usually just kind of try to get underneath it. You can come in at it from this side like this, see? And just run all the way underneath it as you go down the line there, see? Then you can come back on underneath it this way. So see how it just gets under it? And then I can come down the stuff that's on the wall as well. Try to get that to peel off of the wall. So this was silicone that somebody had put, but you could tell that whoever it was that did this was just not very talented. I mean, they just oozed it everywhere here, to the point that it just made it look ugly, and it discolored over the years, see? So we can get this to come off really easily. So far the goof off looks like it's doing its job pretty good. I don't even think I waited the full 15 minutes here. So your idea is to just kind of gently, you don't want to dig in and scratch the paint here, but you just want to kind of gently dig in a little bit to get under it and to get all of this stuff off of here. Well, you were looking at quite the mess there, folks, but hey, guess what? We got it all to come off, huh? So it's off of all of the seams and corners. So if you look along all the corners there, you can see we got all of it to come off. So now we're back to square one again with what the tiles originally looked like. So now we can go ahead and apply our grout and give this a new facelift here. And once the grout dries, we'll come back and we'll caulk along these corners with pure white silicone. And let me tell you, this will look a lot better. Okay, so now that we've gotten all of the silicone off of here, what I then like to do is I usually spray everything down first with my Amway LOC cleaner, and then I follow it with my Amway soft cleanser. You can also use Barkeeper's Friends, another popular one, but that's what we do. And so it gives it just a gentle abrasive clean just to make sure we've gotten all of the impurities off. We want this to be as clean as possible before we go and add brand new silicone around the edge. So then I just pour little bits of it here and there, not a whole lot. This stuff is concentrated pretty good, so plus the fact that I already put the cleaner down on there. And then I just give it some good old scrubbing down. And I'll even do a little on the bottom of the wall. See how it's still finding more stuff? Well, you can see we did a good job getting that all cleaned off there along the top of the tub, but in the middle of the tub there, inside the tub, you can see that's not going to come off. And the reason why this won't come off is that's pretty much worn down of enamel. That's the enamel's been worn down almost to the sublayer there. So there's pretty much nothing you can do about that unless you bring in a company later on to reglaze your tub. Most of the companies in our area charge about $200 if it's never been done before. If it's been done before and they have to dig deeper when they sand the surface of the tub, in which case they would charge you probably $250. Okay, so now we're at the point here where we're going to put the grout onto the walls here. Now, it's very difficult because remember, these are 16th inch grout lines that already have grout in them. You know, I've never been a big fan of these things because they usually have glues or epoxies or something in there. These don't act like regular grout. Regular grout is more like a peanut butter consistency. These go on kind of gluey and like clay, and you can't let it stay on the wall more than a couple of minutes before you wash it because it's real hard to get it to wipe off. Because of that. And don't make the mistake of doing the whole wall. What you have to do with this stuff is do a 2 foot by 2 foot area at once, because otherwise it will dry up on you. You can't let it dry on there more than a couple of minutes. You will not be able to wash it off. That's all we're really trying to do here, is put lipstick on a pig here, because you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of grout to stick in there. Okay, so now if you look in the wall there, you can see all of that white haze on there on the tiles. So that's why we were trying to show you why you don't want to use that type of pre-mixed grout that we showed you in the tub there. Now, that was after only a couple of minutes of being on the wall, and no matter what, we couldn't get it to come off. And so that's been the #1 complaint about these kind of pre-mixed grouts. If you look in the reviews from all the users that buy them, you'll see that their main complaint was they can't get it to come off. Even though the bucket says do 5 square feet at a time, I even did just 2 square feet, and this is what you end up with. Some people said, look, do 1 tile at a time, and you'll still have a hard time getting it to come off. So this is what we're going to use here to get rid of that grout haze. This is called sulfamic acid crystals, and I'll put a link to that down in the description, and I'll also put a link to the other video we did that's more thorough, that shows how to use the sulfamic acid and how to use it to remove dried concrete, tile mortar and stuff like that off of your tile tools. Typically they want you to dump this whole container into a gallon of water, but you don't need that much. And I don't even use it at that. I use it at twice of that dilution. So you can see I just made this right here up, about a half gallon worth. Alright, so now we're going to show you how to remove the haze. So I usually use a good quality scouring brush like these Scotch-Brite. So you see how you get the wavy side? I like this because it allows you to get really aggressive. So what I do is take my wet sponge and just wet the area. It's going to smell a little bit like rotten eggs, not too bad, most likely because of the sulfur that's in it. So the idea is you just want to get it wet, go over it a couple of times there, get some more on there. You don't want to have it like way running with water, you just want to get it moist. Okay, so now that it's nice and moist there, and if you want quicker action, you can put more of the sulfamic acid crystals in there. to make it stronger mixture, but I was happy with this. So you take the rough side of it and just swirl it around a little bit, and you can see already on that one square it's already gone, and this one here. So if you would even let it soak a couple of minutes, it would probably be even easier, but I'm not even putting much pressure on. You can see how it's taking it off. So if you ever use any of those pre-mixed grouts and it leaves a haze, or anytime you get a grout haze, this is what you can do to get it off afterwards. You remember how bad it looked under the tub spout here before, and that whole area? That looks so much better now. Everything's nice and clean. So all that haze is gone, and now we're ready to grout. All right, so this is the one we're going to be using here. So I've been using this a lot lately. This is the Mape Ultra Color Plus FA. So the FA stands for fine aggregate. This replaces sanded and unsanded grouts. And this does a pretty good job, and it's a fast setting, so you can have traffic on it if you're doing floors, 3 to 4 hours. The only gotcha about this is because it's rapid setting, you really only got about 15 minutes of working time with it. So I mix it in small batches and just try to get it done as quickly as possible. I usually do a 2 square foot area and then wash it off. Don't follow any instructions that say wait 15 to 30 minutes, because that's too long to wait. You will never get it to come off. You'll end up with this similar issue here. Okay, and so we're going to put it on and just quickly wash it off. And it's even better if you have a partner, so you can be applying the grout and then get about a 5-minute head start, and then your partner comes up right behind you and starts washing it. That works the best. Okay, so we're ready to start now. I usually just apply it with the gloves and get it right into the grout lines here, and then I have my bucket right behind me with the sponge, so I can get working on it right away, cleaning it off. So we normally start at the top and work our way down. Okay, so look down this corner seam here, and you can see where the tiler made the mistake of grouting in the corners there, and this is why you don't grout in the corners right there. So if you're looking for proof, you think you're going to be smarter than physics here, nature, this is why you don't grout in the corner, because it will crack, and usually within only a few weeks too. So wherever you have a change of plane, you're supposed to use silicone, not grout, and not latex caulk, because latex caulk will dry up and be just like grout, and it will crack. Silicone, when you look on the tube, it says that it's guaranteed not to crack. It won't crack, it won't stretch, shrink, all that other nonsense. Okay, so right here you can see these areas here where it just didn't want to hold, so it would wash right back off. So what we did was we took you can use either a grout removal tool or your 5-in-1 tool, and you just run it in there and you scrape out some of that grout there, the older grout. You just dig a little bit of a channel so that now you can take some grout and just kind of rub it across there and make it go deeper into the channel. Okay, so to apply the silicone, I'm going to use my Kramer Fugi profiling kit here. Now these are very popular by the pros in Europe as well. So basically what this does is it allows you to get a perfect shape tooling on your silicone. After you lay the first bead down, you come by with these and you scrape it. So we have to find a profile here that we think will be the right one. So it might either be this number 5 or the number 8 here, I'm not sure. I think some of those areas on the bottom we might have to use a number 8 to get it big. So you see how it's diagonal here? And we're going to go along, you place it along the wall and just scrape it off there and tool it off, and it'll be nice and perfect. You don't want to use your finger because your finger leaves it concave and it doesn't leave a good strong tooling. I know people have been doing it for years, and many pros will say I've been doing it that way for 20, 30 years, but it's really not correct. And then they come with these skids here that we put on, and these skids here, when you put it on like this, it allows you to go right by the grout lines on the tile without it bumping. It'll just go nice and smooth, skid across the top. Okay, so aside from the grout, this is the most important step. So we're adding the silicone, and I always make sure 100% silicone. Do not get any latex caulk or anything. In fact, the way you know you're getting the right thing is it will say 100% silicone, it will say waterproof, it will say shower, sink, glass, that kind of stuff. So those are the words I look for. That way you know that it's meant to be used in the bathroom. Permanently waterproof, lifetime guarantee, resists mold, and it says shrink proof and crack proof. So that's what you look for. This is the best of the best, you know, so you don't go for the super cheapy stuff. Don't buy any painter's caulk and think, well, I don't need to use it. You know, I don't need to spend $8 on a tube of silicone. Yeah, you do. You really do. Because otherwise you're going to be spending hours and hours later on repairing it all. And I'm choosing the white. So make sure, because a lot of times on the shelves at Home Depot and Lowe's, people mix these up all the time, and you think you're grabbing white, but you're grabbing a clear, and vice versa. You think you're grabbing a clear one, and it's a white one. So make sure you double check that color. And I'm using my dripless water gun there, so I'll put links to this in the description below for you. So I'm thinking of maybe going with a number 10. There's the 8. The 10's a little bigger, and see, I think it'll give us more space there to play around with. So I think we're going to try that one. All right, so I'm going to start up at this top corner here. And remember, you're not in a race. You're just trying to get a good, reasonable bead on there. You just go at your own rate, like that, and make sure that it goes on nicely, and that it stays in the corner, and that you're doing a consistent bead as you go down. So it's important to get this tooled down within a minute or two of you getting the bead on the wall. Otherwise, it's not likely to conform for you. It'll start to harden up. So you just come right down the wall with it, and every little bit there you can stop and wipe it off if you need to. And don't worry that, see how we're leaving a little bit of a trail there on the wall, on the corner there? Don't worry about that, because once we wipe this off, we'll come back and hit it a second time. But you come back right immediately after. I usually stop about every couple of feet or so and clean off the tool, and then come back and hit it again. And usually the second time, we'll scrape off all of that remainder there. See that? And if you have to come back and gently hit it again, that's fine. I'm just going really slow here to show you how it's supposed to look. Okay, so you can see that first section there's looking pretty good there. And we'll continue on down the wall here. Now, what makes this a little difficult sometimes for you is, in this case, the previous tile installer who did this years ago, they left a lot of lippage, so a lot of uneven tile, so that kind of makes things difficult for you in terms of getting a smooth line. Okay, so now we're going to pick up from this point here. And remember, you tool it down and wipe it down. So you just tool down a little while there until it starts to overflow like snowplow around the edge of the tool. And then you can stop and wipe it off. Right? And then we'll come back here and we'll try to scrape off the excess. Okay, so here you'll see you'll run into problems like this right here. So you see how it got real thin right there? And even though we used the Fugi tool, it wasn't enough caulk in the corner there. Well, why not? Well, the problem is because the tile installer, this one was the huge bump out right here. This was the largest bump out. It's very massive. So it really throws off the level. So what we have to do is we have to shoot some more of the silicone right in this area here so that the tool can now reach it. So now when we come back up here and scrape this little area here, you can see it can do it. So then we'll just come back and scrape off that excess over there. And then we'll wipe the rest of that little area there. Big towel there, just get it right off of there. So you can see you have to kind of shape that a little bit right there because of what the tile installer did. You can sort of see how it jogs. The shape of the bead of caulk there, it takes a little jogging turn there. And we'll have to smooth these out a little bit more. We'll play with it some more with the tool to get them a little smoother, because I don't want to leave these little bumps there. Now that that corner is done, we're going to do the bottom here. So wherever there's a change of plane is where you want to add your silicone. You don't want this drying in place on you or starting to harden up. So you tool it, wipe off the tool. Tool it some more. And any that you missed, you can come back for and get it on the second pass. So the first pass just basically cleans up most of the excess. The second pass, in my opinion, is what really makes sure that it's in shape and that it scrapes any remainder off the wall. See how it's collecting right there? And there's the first two sections done, the vertical there, and then across the bottom of the spout. So it's already looking like $1,000,000 now. I'll start in this corner here and drag a bead down this way. All you do is you just tool it all the way across. See, we're taking our time, we're not rushing, we're doing it right. Okay, next we are going to replace this nasty old shower head with a brand new Delta Intuition one. I've been using this in all of my projects the last few years. So this has the removable handpiece, and it's I think it's got like 5 settings on it. And remember, when you're trying to do a torque, a large torque rotational force around a point, you want force times distance. So the longer distance you can get, the better. But you got to make sure this point here doesn't go jerking all over the place. So you can either hold it with your hand, or you can do what I do, which I have my my Craftsman Robo Grips. I love these things. I've had these since 1993, and you can put them on here, and you want to just basically hold that center part steady right there, okay? And then you can slowly just, you're pushing with both tools right now. You're digging in and you're slowly doing that rotational movement there. And that's really all there is to it. It is pretty simple like that. And let me just back this back up here nice and tight, and we'll show you another possible solution that you could try if you don't have one of these. You can do it with a screwdriver. So it's the same type thing. You put your Robo Grips into position there, and you hold this guy. And by the way, you know, we're digging into this, so this is going in the trash. If you're going to reuse your arm, your shower arm here, after you loosen the shower arm, you want to put some tape around this so that it doesn't get damaged. Personally, these things are only a few bucks. You take it off, it's old anyway, put a new one on. We're putting on a new one because it's a brushed nickel is what we need to match the new shower head that we're putting in, this Delta Intuition here. Okay, so now to reinsert the new shower arm, always remember I put the flange on right this way here, this orientation, because you insert the shower arm in with the long side coming out of the wall, and then the shorter side bends down. And then we just stick it in there and make sure you can feel it go all the way in before you start trying to thread it. And you just go all the way in until you start to feel it getting tight. We'll put this on here. Well, here it is. It looks really good. And what did we do in here? Did we remodel this? No. All we did was we bought an $8 tube of silicone, and we bought a $25 bag of grout. And that's all we did, was we just regrouted this, put some silicone on. I put on this new shower head and a new drain. We didn't touch this part, just wasn't in the budget. But look, it looks like $1,000,000. It looks brand new. If you remember how it looked before, remember it was all dirty and dingy, and there was blackened silicone and other caulk all along the whole edge of the tub, and now it looks perfect. White lines. So the white silicone really does bring it home for you. That's the most bang for the buck that you can do in a shower. So we truly did put lipstick on this pig here. And if you found this video useful, hey, give us a thumbs up down below, Let us know in the comments any questions you have. We'd love to answer all of your questions there. And make sure you click on that subscribe button down below as well, and click the bell icon next to it, so you'll be alerted every single time we upload a new video, because you don't want to miss any of our videos. And in fact, stay tuned, because coming up in a few seconds on that end screen, you're going to see some suggested videos that you definitely don't want to miss. That's it for this one, folks. I appreciate each and every one of you joining us today, and have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.